Today is Friday, November the 4th, 2016. And today is a crazy story going on right now all over social media about spirit cooking. Now, this practice is related to Satanism. And the reason why it's trending is because it's been found within WikiLeaks. Now, to give you the backstory before I get too deep into it, what's going on here is that an email exchange has been found between Tony Podesta and a woman named Marina Abramovic. Now, Tony Podesta is the brother of John Podesta. John Podesta is Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign manager. He's the top dog. He also has a group in Washington, D.C. called the Center for American Progress, but that's a whole different story and I digress. In the email exchange, the woman, Abramovic, was inviting Tony Podesta to a dinner for spirit cooking and said, hey, why don't you bring John? And then the next email that you see is Tony forwarding that conversation between him and the woman. And then he's asking John, hey, Marina wants you to come to dinner. Now, the wording of that email is very important, but I'll get to that a little bit later. Let's just deal with the spirit cooking and what that's all about. Now, spirit cooking is like a satanic ritual. You know, I'll play some images on the screen before you, and this is like her art gallery representation of it. Now, according to her own words, according to her quote, she says that when it's done like this in an artistic place, in an art gallery, somewhere public, it's merely a representation of art. It's not anything else other than that. But once it's done at your home, if it's done at your actual house, then it's more intimate and it becomes a spiritual thing. Right? Now, she invites Tony Podesta, John Podesta's brother, and says, bring your brother, John, presumably, to the actual dinner. According to what she said about spirit cooking at home being something very intimate, and according to the email exchange, she wants them to come engage in a more spiritual kind of ceremony, a satanic ceremony. Now, I saw this article online, I think from Town Hall. This woman named Katie wrote an article talking about, no, it wasn't satanic. And the only reason she had a dinner that day was to promote the actual book called Spirit Cooking that she released back in 96. But first of all, okay, you're promoting the book from 96 recently within the past couple years. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But beyond that, what's in the book? In the book, you have the satanic rituals. So even if it's just about the book and it's not about having an actual ritual, then the book itself is satanic and demonic and evil. I mean, the rituals include using stuff like sperm. Yes, sperm, human sperm, breast milk, blood, I presume human blood, maybe even feces. But I'm not quite sure about the feces part, but I know that it includes sperm, breast milk, and blood, and people consume it. They cut their hands, all kind of crazy stuff. So that's in the book. Now, why do John Podesta and his brother Tony appear to know her on a first name basis? Because remember, I told you about the wording of the actual email. Marina says, come to dinner. Now, to me, that sounds like when your grandma or your mom calls you on the phone or texts you, email you, whatever, and say, you know, so-and-so wants you to come to dinner. Grandma wants you to come to dinner. Aunt Lucy wants you to come to dinner. You know who grandma is. You know who Aunt Lucy is. You know where they live, and you've been there before. That's what it seems like to me. If you're on the first name basis with somebody, it'd be different. Like if John Podesta had never been over there before and he didn't know her. First of all, this person, Marina, is based in New York. And I'm pretty sure Podesta is from New York. And I know he's in D.C. with the Center for American Progress and everything like that. But I'm pretty sure he's from New York. But if he's not, I could be wrong. But I digress. My whole point is that he appears to know who this woman is. This is not his first time meeting with her. Now, why would John Podesta, who is Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, have any kind of relationship with somebody that is basically a Satanist, who has learned their skills of the trade, so to speak, from a man named Aleister Crowley, who was a big time Satanist, an occultist, or whatever you want to call him, an evil person? So what's up with all this evil influence on the Hillary Clinton campaign? Can you imagine if it was Omarosa going to a dinner with a Satanist at their house who's written a book that says if you come to the person's home and you engage in the spirit cooking, then that is a spiritual exercise and it's not just art. It's not about anything else other than the spirituality of Satanism. Can you imagine that? The media will be ablaze. Now, what I want to know is if the media tonight or throughout the weekend leading up to the actual election on Tuesday, November the 8th, Are they going to cover this story, or are they just going to kind of push it to the back like it didn't happen? Pretend like it don't exist. Maybe it'll go away. I mean, at this point, I don't really see how that's possible. I mean, you got WikiLeaks going on right now. You got arrest pending, like in the Anthony Weiner situation, which is a whole different story. They found a bunch of emails in this computer. They may have found links to a child sex operation and everything else. So with that going on, and just the general corruption that she was already saddled with previously, before the actual emails came out on Weiner's computer, and before this situation here with John Podesta and his ties to Satanism, I mean, what else could it be to come against her? I mean, there's so much against Hillary Clinton right now. I don't think the media can really hide too much more. Even if they hide this story and pretend like it didn't happen, pretend like it don't exist, it doesn't even really matter, because there's so much else out there that is damaging against her. I mean, the stories I found on Trump are just really minimal at best. But the stories I found on Hillary, I mean, good grief. This woman appears to be extremely evil and appears to be aligning herself with people that practice in evil. Now, I'm not really the kind of guy that believes in the cult and the devil, all that kind of stuff like that. But what I will say is that people that believe in that kind of stuff, they believe in the evil forces and stuff like that, they're dangerous outside of any kind of belief system that they may have. Because if you believe in evil being a good thing and you celebrate it and it's something you want to champion and you really want to just revel in that, then that's going to be your behavior, regardless of what your faith is, regardless of what your faith dictates, whether it's true or false, you're going to manifest it. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. My final thoughts on it are, if you're a Hillary supporter and you hear the sound of my voice, ask yourself this question. Do you want to be associated with somebody that's currently under FBI investigation, may have links to a child sex operation in Haiti that has all kind of corrupt ties to foreign governments that execute homosexuals, blacks, and everything else? Do you want to be associated with somebody who has people in her campaign? The head of the campaign now, John Podesta, is at the top of the campaign. He is the chair of the 2016 Hillary Clinton campaign. It's not like a guy that just goes to get coffee or somebody like that, an insignificant person. And John Podesta is very well connected in Washington, D.C. He has a big time lobbying firm called the Center for American Progress. Look him up. This is really a big time power player. So if that kind of person is associated with your candidate, how do you feel about that? If you already voted, do you regret voting for Hillary Clinton? Be honest. This is between me and you. But do you think what I'm saying is correct here? Do you think that Hillary Clinton is lining herself with evil people? Is she evil herself? And this is just birds of a feather flock together. This is just pretty much what they do. Evil meets with evil. Or is it something more simple? Is it just simple fact that she's corrupt and she doesn't really care who she has in her corner? As long as they can get their job done, she don't really care. It could be a child abuser. It could be a Satan worshiper. It can be somebody that is a pure crook criminally, on some financial stuff, Ponzi scheme kind of guy. It doesn't really matter. Whoever she wants, it doesn't matter who they are. They're going to be on the team, and that's it. Whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.